Greetings, this is Paul the Poke from paulthepoke.com. Today's topic, Resurrection, Revelation's Two Witnesses. Critics throughout time have always questioned, well, did the resurrection take place? Is it a real thing? And it's like some people will say, this is just a myth or a legend or a bunch of nonsense, and I don't believe it. And there were even people in Jesus' day, the Sadducees, they did not believe in the resurrection. And we know this from Acts 23, verse 8. For the Sadducees say there is no resurrection, nor an angel, nor a spirit, but the Pharisees acknowledge them all. And so the Pharisees and the Sadducees were two different sects of Judaism. And the Sadducees, they didn't believe in the resurrection or angels or spirits or any of that. And, this reference is after Jesus rose from the dead. Sadducees were around when the event took place. There were Sadducees who talked with people who were witnesses to a resurrected Christ. And, they still didn't believe it. And some people will not let facts or history or their own belief system get in the way with their religion. And, that leads us to the two witnesses in the book of Revelation. And so some people will say, well, why two witnesses? And that's noted in Deuteronomy 19, verse 15. The testimony of two witnesses. A single witness shall not rise up against a man on account of any iniquity or any sin he has committed. On the evidence of two or three witnesses a matter shall be confirmed. So as far as God's concerned, He's not interested in he said, she said, well, one person said so-and-so did this. No, God wants two or three people who saw somebody commit an infraction or a crime or a sin. And it's legal precedent. It's a burden of proof. If anything, it's protection against somebody who's accused of a crime. And so that leads us to Revelation 11, verses 11 and 12. And these are the two witnesses of Revelation. And they're going to be a pain in the side to pretty much the whole planet with the judgments that they will be rendering at that time. In Revelation 11, verse 11 and 12, but after 3.5 days, the breath of life from God came into them, and they stood on their feet, and great fear fell upon those who were watching them. And they heard a loud voice from heaven saying to them, come up here. Then they went up into heaven in the cloud, and their enemies watched them. So no doubt, when this happens, it's going to convince many people, the resurrection's real, and they will have heard a voice, and they will have seen the bodies go up. And at that point, there will be many who will probably come to believe in God. They will have their literal come to Jesus moment. But there will be those who don't see it, and they'll hear reports of it and hear others say, well, I didn't see it. So-and-so said it, but I still don't believe it. That's just kind of how people are. Some people, they have to have direct proof, and even sometimes when they see things, they still don't believe it. Which leaves us with the quote from Jesus from John 11, verses 25 and 26. Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. He who believes in me will live even if he dies. And everyone who lives and believes in me will never die. Do you believe this? And so the last question there, do you believe this? That's not me, the bald guy, asking you a question. That's Jesus who asked the question in the verse. So, something to think about. If you're interested in topics related to resurrection, please feel free to check out paulthepoke.com, keyword resurrection. Thanks for listening. Take care. Bye.